need to push back on the dumb ideas that come from their children. The Democrats' problem is the energy of the parties with the young and the young are with the terrorists. That's not good. So talk to your children and remind them you don't really want to live like your heroes in Hamas. All the shit you do all day, it was all made in America. Your smartphone, your Grubhub, your freedom to bitch about America, that's all American stuff. You tell your phone you want a milkshake and a guy brings it to your house. Please, you couldn't survive a week living in Intifadaville. The reason Gretchen Whitmer looked like a toddler playing peekaboo in the Oval Office is she's afraid of the Liz Bratts of the world and the 12 social justice warriors on the internet and what they might tweet to their 7 followers.
Bill Maher just tore into the Democratic Party, and he didn't hold back. His target? What he calls a woke rabbit hole, dragging the party off course. The DNC may have snagged a few local wins, but nationally, they're floundering, and Maher believes the leadership is to blame. His critique? Sharp, relentless, designed to make the party squirm. Oh, buckle up, hit subscribe, and let's dive straight into the chaos.
Here is the dilemma for Democrats. Their young people, their key constituency, not only don't like their own civilization, they like the wrong one. They actually think Hamas is a liberation movement. They chant for the Houthis. They're chanting, "We will honor our martyrs" at Yale. They're looking for love in all the wrong countries. Someone needs to tell the kids that America is not the society where women basically have no rights, where there's zero freedom of religion and where dissent is punishable by death. Our democracy may be on life support, but we still have elections.
Maher starts by hitting the Democrats where it hurts. Their messaging and his view, the party has developed a deep-seated disdain for America itself. Flip on a liberal talk show and you'll hear it, America as the oppressor. Other countries, like Iran or Palestinian groups, cast as heroic victims. Maher argues this isn't just unfair, it's dangerous. Young audiences absorb it unquestioningly. Over time, it shapes a worldview that distances them from their own country. And politically, it's a trap. Alienate the voters you need, and power slips further away.
Coachella this year, when an Irish rap group projected onto screens, "F Israel, free Palestine," got big applause. Globalize the Intifada is the catchphrase that's really catching on these days, as if worldwide suicide bombing and cosplaying Islamic revolutionaries is the answer to our problems. At an AOC Bernie Sanders rally in Idaho last month, someone threw a Palestinian flag over an American flag, and the crowd erupted in approval. What should have happened after that is one of the adults on stage should have told their young, loyal followers, this is not a symbol of freedom. This is.
But here's the kicker. The story gets darker. Maher says Democrats aren't being honest. They gloss over the full picture of global conflicts. Human rights abuses, internal struggles, complexities, ignored. Why? Because outrage is more useful than nuance. Keep young voters emotionally fired up. Keep them focused on America's flaws. Short-term energy spikes. Long-term risk. A misinformed base. And when the dust settles, the fractures deepen and trust erodes.
Thought leaders in the Democratic Party keep encouraging and not rebuking the idea that America is cringe and the people who run Gaza are great. The Democrats are doomed. Alyssa Slotkin's right. Liberals are weak and woke, especially the white ones, and they indulge all sorts of nonsense from their kids, a pattern that then continues on in the Democratic Party. Last election, it was all the gender stuff, the insistence that men can have babies and such, and now I fear that we like the is the new that.
It's about inconsistency. Maher points out the DNC sends mixed signals to young Americans. 1 minute, America is the villain. The next, praise flows when the party gains power. The result? Confusion, frustration, distrust. Authenticity matters. Young people can sense when messaging is situational rather than principled. And once trust is lost, it's nearly impossible to regain.
Need to push back on the dumb ideas that come from their children. The Democrats' problem is the energy of the parties with the young and the young are with the That's not good. So talk to your children and remind them you don't really want to live like your heroes in Hamas. All the shit you do all day, it was all made in America. Your smartphone, your Grubhub, your freedom to bitch about America. That's all American stuff. You tell your phone you want a milkshake and a guy brings it to your house. Please, you couldn't survive a week living in Intifadaville.
Maher has a blunt warning. Young voters need balance. America isn't perfect. Far from it. But it's still better off than most of the world in opportunity, stability, and freedoms. Feed them non-stop criticism without context, and they lose perspective. Some even idolize countries that would be nearly impossible to navigate daily. Celebrities threatening to leave the US? Rarely follow through. That gap between rhetoric and reality? It's a red flag Maher says Democrats ignore at their peril.
The girl in White Lotus who was going to live in a Buddhist monastery and then lasted one night.
The issue grows when you consider how young voters form opinions. Many take cues from influencers, social media, and repetitive party messaging. Nuance gets lost. Conflicts get simplified. Heroes and villains. Movements like Antifa can appear romanticized, charged with moral urgency. But Maher warns, passion without context is dangerous. It's identity over understanding. Emotion over facts. The base is fired up. But are they informed? Not always.
This is a serious problem for Democrats. Less than 1 in 4 Democrats under 30 say they're proud to be an American. 54% say they're embarrassed by it. Embarrassed? Like America's your mom picking you up at school? You're embarrassed to be an American? Well, guess what? The feeling's mutual. Because you have no perspective. Is America perfect? No, of course not. No country is. Although don't get Tucker Carlson started on Russia.
Maher's metaphor hits hard. Constantly tearing down your own country is like cutting off your nose to spite your face. Politically, it's risky. Younger voters don't reliably turn out. Older, more consistent voters respond to stability, progress, and confidence. Alienate the reliable voters, energize a sporadic base, and you sabotage your own elections. That's the danger Democrats face if the strategy doesn't change.
That seemed to be afraid of everything. They were petrified of COVID, masking 2-year-olds who never would have died from it and keeping schools closed for far too long. They're definitely afraid of their kids, who from time immemorial have always come up with bad ideas. Their kids. Thinking up stupid is what they do. But parents used to tell them, that's ridiculous. The world doesn't work that way. Not today's parents. They say, you're right, honey. Gender is just a social construct. Please, sometimes your mother and I forget which one of us has.
Leadership should lead, but Maher says the DNC is doing the opposite. Instead of guiding young voters, party leaders mimic them. Language, priorities, even values, lifted from youth culture rather than shaped by experience. Maher points to TV and media culture as a mirror. Kids as morally superior, parents clueless. The message? Experience doesn't matter. Instinct alone suffices. Over time, that erodes respect for informed leadership and replaces guidance with validation.
If we're still banning TikTok, that was before we changed the rule in America to Trump decides what's a law. But I know it wouldn't even be an issue if parents would sack up and tell their kids to get off the phone. Democrats are still afraid of the mean girls who police their far-out fringe. Massachusetts Congressman Seth Moulton had a perfect score on LGBTQ issues from the Human Rights Campaign. But when he said, I have 2 little girls, I don't want them getting run over on a playing field by a male or formerly male athlete, his own campaign manager quit. And the chair of the Salem Democratic City Committee, Liz Bratt, accused Moulton of being, quote, what is known as a cooperator in Nazi time.
So what's Maher's solution? It's time for honest conversations with younger supporters. America's flaws exist, but so do its freedoms and opportunities. Perspective matters. A balanced view inspires constructive action. Instead of alienation, it can spark pride and motivation to improve what already works. Without it, young voters risk losing sight of reality, and so does the party.
Matt, a congressman merely stands up for the liberal principle, the one we do still call Title IX, that women get an equal shot in sports, and now it gets you labeled a Nazi. The reason Gretchen Whitmer looked like a toddler playing peekaboo in the Oval Office is she's afraid of the Liz Bratts of the world and the 12 social justice warriors on the internet and what they might tweet to their 7 followers. Alyssa Slotkin calls her party weak and woke. She's right. People vote on instinct. They can smell fear a swing state away, and they'd rather have strong and wrong.
Finally, Maher warns about the left's biggest vulnerability: its loud fringe. The extreme voices dominate online debate. Party leaders accommodate to avoid backlash. Result? The party drifts left, even if most supporters don't follow. Appeasing the few alienates the many. Messaging loses control. Moderates walk away. The takeaway is simple. Elections aren't won on outrage or ideology alone, they're won on trust, perspective, and connection. And if the Democrats keep ignoring that balance, they won't just lose headlines. They'll lose elections. Hit like, subscribe, and stay tuned, because the next political shakeup is already here.